Alright, looks like stream is online. Hello everyone. It's been a while. I've tried to stream yesterday, but I realized that I was getting old. Uh Streaming 2 days straight in a row is kind of talling. I I'm gonna use this opportunity to show mad respect to all the streamers out there. How do you guys stream? Like I stream like what 3 4 hours every per stream, and wow, it's really tolling. But and this is not even like a proper stream. Like I have a replay. I have some replay codes on. I have them on. I even have LaFine here to kind of like fill me in if I ever trying to get lost for words or something like that. Wow, wow. All the full-time streamers out there, mad respect. Anyway, we have LaFawn today as my co-host. As always, LaFawn, how are you and how do you feel?
I'm doing all right. I have to preface this stream with this. I promise to not analyze the game meaningfully. Meaning, I'm only putting like 20% of my thought process into this. So if you have any complaints about my analysis, good. That means it's working.
Very well. Well, I mean, there is always the option of paying LaFawn his rates, his daily rates of casting, if you want the full analysis version, and of course, if there is any generous person or production that are willing to pay us, I can set up a full because that is my full-time job. I can set up a production, Overwatch League caliber for 100% analysis. So, just know that's a joke, but also, just please keep in mind that we're just doing this for fun. Like, mostly just because we just want the community to enjoy the games as much as we did because we are lucky enough to be accessing these matches. But okay, enough of that. Today we're covering O2 High School, and here is the roster. O2 High School. Well, we had the opportunity to cover O2 High School a little bit when we were going through Runaway, and I also always kind of mistake them into calling them O2 Blast. But to be honestly, this is basically O2 Blast, ain't it? Ain't it, LaFon?
Yeah, this is their roster from 2022.
Before everyone went to the shock and etc. etc.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the roster that won This is the roster that won O2's last championship, giving them the most championship wins in all of Contenders, like Contenders history.
And I believe they were also undefeated, right? At some point.
Yeah, it was like I want to say it was like 32 matches. It's in my notes somewhere, but like, yeah, I remember it was more than 30 in a row, which is unbelievable.
And then I'm sorry to cut you off. They had to go all the way to the Overwatch League knockouts to get that like kind of broken, right?
Yeah, and not only were they like that match streak was in a row, they also didn't lose very many maps during that. I think it was like I want to say sub 10 maps lost in that streak as well. So like not only did they win for so much, they won by a staggeringly wide margin.
Yeah, that's really impressive, and I can't even wait to see how much dominance that they will show because this roster is like really really like talented. Proby, Prophet, he's saying we have 4 DPS players. This is the most DPS players we'll ever see in this competition, and I don't think we've seen Viper so far. Like, I mean, of course, we'll definitely see. We haven't covered all the matches yet, but I don't think we've heard that we've seen Viper so far in any of these matches.
I think they're running this similar to how they ran in 2022, in terms of the roster selection, right? Like who plays when. And back then they did not play. They played Viper for I think 2 maps, and they played Prophet like on Circuit Royale, right? Like there was a core Widow essentially. I think the expectation here should be the same. Like you're gonna have your starters that run nearly 100% of the time, and then have like 1 or 2 subs when like there's a very very specific map where you want to play something very specific that the hero pool goes in. Because for Viper, right, it's like Tracer Genji, right? We saw that on Shanghai Dragons last season, where despite that team's woes, Viper's Tracer and Genji stood out, right? But But I don't think we're going to see a ton of Tracer Genji in this patch. At least we haven't so far from every team we've seen. So yeah, you're probably going to go with your core players and kind of just stick with what works.
I would assume maybe we can see some Genji Chaser and maybe Paraiso, Circuit Royale, maybe New Queen Street. I think that's kind of like maybe also I don't know Rialto a little bit. But like I keep getting that feeling that although it's possible, it like why go for the Chaser Genji if there's like other viable choices that you can also kind of like use frequently with other metas as well. So I think that it's gonna be we're gonna see a lot more Proby, Hisang, maybe Prophet. I don't think we'll see Viper that much, but we'll definitely figure that out. The matches that we're going to cover today is going to be three series in total. It's going to be It's going to be their qualifier match versus XERO and Venom 2, and also O2 High School's knockout match versus ISOHAN. We also have a knockout match versus Runaway, but we're not going to cover that because we already did during the Runaway stream. So if you want to check out that match from O2 High School versus Runaway, you can check that on my VOD. I will drop the channel on chat. Let's see, Twitch.
Already done.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow, so much.
I mean, you have the side of, you have the what do you call it, the distraction of speaking. I could just do things while you do that. So,
okay, thank you so much. And without further delay, let's go to the match. So first match is going to be against XERO. This is qualifiers day 1, so no surprise that first map is going to be Samoa. Let's go.
Ready for battle.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely unsurprising stuff here from O2 High School.
And we have the Junkrat here. I don't.
Sunjin loves this character.
Yes.
Every time Sunjin gets an opportunity to play a Junkrat, he selects it, even though it does not work.
Yes, so in Samoa, and we've also seen some Junkrat on Control Tower as well, right?
Yes, yes.
So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna try something new. We're gonna be on full first. Oh, good. Opener opens up with a death. I guess he sacrifices his own life to open the match. Attack. Max is traded out in the process. So it looks like XERO is going to be on a little bit of an advantage. And then O2 High School has to back up a little bit. So the Junkrat is actually pretty working out. Maybe.
Maybe. I will have to see consecutive fight wins where the Junkrat is the reason they win the fight before I you know, give Sunjin props for the selection.
So, what would be the key difference between the Mei and the Junkrat here? Well, what value does the Junkrat offer that the Mei doesn't?
Well, I think the tough thing here is like damage, raw damage. The Junkrat obviously excels in, right? I mean, just look at what Sunjin has compared to like both Hisang and Proby. Like Riptide already out. The problem is, in a comp like this, displacement is so very valuable. Does that raw damage exceed, you know, the fight win of like a wall, like a Mei wall or something like that? So far, I mean, Sunjin's hitting directs with the grenades, and that helps a lot.
Well, I mean, I would assume that if your team has a Mei, you want to isolate out the opponent's Sigma and then take them out fast. And if you don't have the Sigma, if the opponent doesn't have the Sigma, that's gonna be like an easy team fight win for you, right? I guess so. The preconditions for O2 High School is to use this wall to kind of like isolate one specific person. But will Sunjin have enough damage to just like break the wall? Is that kind of like XERO's thought process?
I mean, yes, you can do that. I will also say, Proby's walls have been not very good so far. The isolation is, they've been using the wall as a kind of shutdown on the choke point, so that they can get to the point and not have the contest kind of come through. and they get point capture. But they haven't really found a good wall in terms of like actual isolation yet.
Well, a lot of ultimates used early on. Knife is taken out. Irony is also down. So this is going to be a team fight win for the side of O2 High School. They use the Blizzard, and they also use the Gravitic Flux and also the Sound Barrier as well. So they don't have any counter for attacks Gravitic Flux.
There's actually a pretty decent combo with the Flux plus Riptire here. We'll see. I'm curious if they bring that through.
Oop. Well, I think
they tried to teleport the Riptire, but Sunjin I think was inside it and got teleported to the point and died. So funny.
So
And now
also,
the experiment is over and the round is dead.
I think he's getting pressured by his teammates, and it's also last fight territory. So maybe he wants that headshot pick, but
I mean, I don't think they even touched the point, to be honest with you.
maybe opener has to be. Where's opener doing? Yeah, he does have the opportunity to touch the point.
I mean, they lost 2 players. It's just opener. And opener doesn't even survive long enough to get the reset touch.
Well, I think we can summarize this round as Experiment Junkrat failed.
Score 1-0.
Yes. Professional opinion, yes.
What's your entertainment opinion?
No.
No.
Just like straight up lying about what we're seeing. No, I mean the thing is like I don't hate the Junkrat as a theoretical pick. It's just that it's not consistent enough at like actually containing map control or like affecting change upon the macro of the game. It's straight up just like a damage throughput, and it's not consistent enough for that to be the case.
So it's a solo queue pick.
It can be. I mean, the theoreticals, you could do like, shield break and whatever, but realistically, how long are the comps going to be set up to do that in this particular meta?
This time Sunjin has probably heard, I guess, some feedback from his teammates and is going towards the Echo, which we've been seeing a lot in this particular submap with the Doomfist.
Yes. Verticality, I think, is actually pretty important here. And I will also say, there's actually a lot of vertical cover to dodge around if you're Echo on this point specifically. But to highlight, this is, I think, the second time. Granted, this is a group stage game, but I believe this is the second time we've seen the Sigma comp against a dive composition. Because in general, most of the teams have elected to mirror rather than play this setup.
Yep, we especially in this setup, in this sub-map, we've seen a lot of Doomfist mirrors rather than the Sigma setup. Maybe I think it's, I assume, I'm guessing that it's also a Samoa thing, where because the point is so close to the spawn, right? And it has to be real, and the pace of the fights are really quicker compared to the other control maps. I think that may be one of the reasons we see a Sombra, maybe, I guess, in theory, to counter the Doomfist threat. They do identify Doomfist as a nuisance or a threat here.
Yeah. We should also highlight, though, by the way, this is technically the first time the Queen shows up, because even though we're showing it on day, like, whatever it's streamed, the 5th day of streaming, this is the group stage,
this is day
qualifiers.
1 qualifiers.
Yes. So, in terms of the actual timeline, this is like still the experimental phase of like how teams are playing out against Doomfist or Sigma and so forth.
We also have the Kiriko on board, which is also, we don't see a lot. We haven't seen a lot, and we don't see a lot, both. Especially considering that it's also day 1.
Yeah.
This is the replay code. This is day 1 of qualifiers.
I think these are the 2 best teams from
Oh,
the team.
good stick on Irony there. This is gonna be the EMP available. So Knife under a lot of pressure, but Proby was not even despite using the EMP was not able to take down Knife. I think the idea was to take down, like, just use the EMP, take down Knife, and just deny the overclock. But was that enough?
I mean, EMP I don't think EMP. I don't know. EMP is not the same level of effectiveness as it was during the height of the Overwatch League last season. You often use it as just like a solo elimination confirmed, and we can see why there. It's just not as much. It's not as effective.
No.
Wait, this is turnable. They actually can turn this.
Isang also there to provide, is keeping Knife at bay right now. Attack very low. Isang taking down. Max is still on the point, and overtime is sticking.
Now keep in mind that it is the full. It's the 99%. Yeah, they actually close this round out. Unbelievable. Max touches that up on the jump screen.
Wow. This is impressive stuff. Because I also want to like praise Hisang here, because Hisang was kind of like 1v1ing Knife. Yes, you don't like make an elimination or something like that, but you keep him distracted enough so that he can't finish up. The entire Zero team can't finish off Max, and then Max lives long enough and stays on the point for overtime to proc, and then the entire O2 high school team just gets enough time to get back on the point and clean up that fight, which is really impressive. Because remember, they dropped earlier than the members of Zero, so they came back early, and I think some of the members from Zero was affected by that 99% overtime clock, respawn timers. So yeah, I think, I don't know if it was calculated or not, but I think overall it was a really smart play from O2 High School.
And I mean, rewarded with a map win, right? Pretty easy map win, I think, too. The other thing is that O2 able to steal the point away so many times from, I think on round 1, they gained like 40 or 50% just by taking the point away. And then the same here on round 2, like they steal away the point for so long, and Zero are forced to like take awkward fights as a result.
Well, no substitutions on the side of O2 Blast. They are still looking at the same composition, except for Proby here, who's opting to the Ash. So interesting choice of choosing the Ash opposed to the Sojourn. We've seen this in Midtown specifically, right? Maybe, I guess, countering the... Oh, what's Hisang doing? Hisang? Hello? I think maybe they're expecting some sort of Doomfist or the Winston, maybe some kind of dive. So,
yeah, we've seen the Ash do really well against the actually against the Winston specifically.
We have an interesting pick on Sunjin here. We have Sunjin's... Oh! We have Sunjin's Hanzo that I was about to mention. And then it takes a pick on Proby. He's not very low and also forces out the drone. So that's a lot of resources taken away from O2 High School already. They have to give a lot of ground. Max is there. Max is still, well, I guess, in a relatively healthy state. Zero also had to use a lot of resources. Max and Bliss down. So I think this might actually turn into a early point A cap for the side of Zero.
Yeah, not a lot of respect there from Proby for the Hanzo. And one of the hard things about like losing a player early, and actually the snowball's going to continue the disaster, is that you just can't put presence down by damage, right? Like the threat that you apply is no longer there, and there's no one on with the Ash or the hit scan, the DPS gone. There isn't really that big of a threat. You can't posture to like force a fight back. Like when you're down a player, when you have ults or when you have like a player like Tracer or Widow, you can try and force a fight because of that threat of elimination. Not so on the first fight when you lose the DPS.
All right. So like you said, LaFon, this is snowballing a little bit. O2 High School has lost control of that high ground bridge, and it's going to be kind of somewhat of an uphill fight for them to regain it, because Zero has a lot of ultimates they can use to defend this bridge. So many things.
This is a very colorful room.
But in the end,
Also, Genji. I think it's not the first time we've seen Genji in the qualifiers, right? But I think, try to remember. I think this might be the first time we've seen the Genji setup in this particular, you know, like in Sigma v Sigma.
yes. I also kind of don't like this setup in a sense that, look, if you look at the good denial of the Flux Fly opener, but if you look at like what the Genji can provide here, like what can the Genji really do? Like, would you expect the Genji to assassinate a Brig Baptiste backline?
I think the only thing that you're really doing here on Genji is that skirmishing from high ground easily, right? So you just constantly provide pressure rather than.
But even then, there's so many ways you can be denied that, right? You have the Sigma shield, you have Irony, who can like maybe even match high ground if he really wants to, and also Sunjin can just take you out with one just random shot, where you have to be in that perfect position if you want an assassination attempt. So I don't know how I feel about this Genji pick, but I'm assuming that I'm assuming that it's a more I don't know. Maybe a replacement for the Tracer, but to be honest, I'm not really even sure.
Decent blade. Damage plus, I mean, a full kill even.
Actuating the barrier. The barrier cannot withstand much more.
So far, I mean, this is literally the first defensive fight that O2 High School has been able to win as well. They lost first and second without any contest. So.
Well, I think that O2 High School should be having the tools to maybe kind of like zone off Zero for a split second or not. They also have the overclock if they really want to commit to it. But if you look at the timing here, if you look at the time bank here, it's 3 minutes and 45 seconds already. Like even already at this point of progress. So Zero, they can afford to lose a fight, or not, and then they can move on to maybe full cap the point. But both teams are using ultimates here and there, and it looks like Zero, with the resources that they have, is making meaningful progress. Hisang has to touch. Max probably has. Oh, Bliss, you are in a bad position. But you are in a very tough position, my friend. And without Bliss, it's going to be even more of an uphill fight for the side of O2 High School. Proby trying to take out some members, trying to delay and put some stability on the side of O2 High School, but it's going to be very difficult, especially if you consider the numbers of disadvantages. Max taking attack up for a ride, but attack is not taking enough follow-up damage for him to die, and Max is the one to fall. O2 High School in a pretty tight spot here. Yes, Hisao has the blade, but how many people can he actually kill with? Maybe just the lamp, but it's kind of enough to earn enough time for everyone on the side of O2 to come back. Sunjun falls, Irony falls. O2 actually make this defense happen.
That is some spectacular. That was a really nice play by Hisang to get the kill on the Baptiste there. That looked like a full cap. That looked like it was very much going to be a full cap. Now, actually, the big thing here is going to be that O2 High School are back in the driver's seat. They have rally, which means you can't really contest the objective. You're going to have window for pressure. And I think the defensive lineup for Widow on this point, considering Sunjin has decided to mirror for some reason, is so much better than the offensive setup. Like, look how many avenues Proby can take to like get a look, whereas it's a very static setup for Sunjin. Meanwhile,
well,
even if this is a cap, by the way, it's going to be with like definitely less than a minute. I think even if it does happen, it'll be overtime.
Yep. I mean, compared to what they had, the time back that they had more than three and a half minutes just to take out the corner, and Attack falling down. I don't know why Attack was. Well, I mean, yes, he took the TP maybe to pressure the Widowmaker. If even if he took down the Widowmaker, if he trades his life for it, I don't think it was really worth it. He's not doing a lot of work with this Genji pick that we've been kind of, I guess, wondering about, throwing question marks about.
I think the Genji wasn't really effective against the Mei setup, but XERO has, like, they've switched, right? Like, their composition now actually works against Genji can actually duel again, and Hisang is just mechanically excellent and is making certain fights work that maybe shouldn't be effective.
So if you kind of look at how the setup was right now, O2 High School should be feeling pretty confident because they know that XERO have the ults, but they have the ultimates to match as well. This is the Dragon Blade from Hisang. The drone was taken down early, so this allows Hisang to take a lot of kills here. He's dancing with Sunjin here, however, he should be very happy with it because everyone is in spawn and no one to contest the point.
Very greedy from XERO there. We've seen a lot of teams when Dragon Blade is such a strange ultimate. It is simultaneously not expected to get elimination value, and yet if you don't respect it, is a threat for eliminations, right? So we've seen teams use the Gravitic Flux as sort of a counter to that. The other problem is that attack when he goes up into the sky in that ult formation, all of a sudden, coupled with the rally at his back, he's saying is more than, you don't have to worry about the accretion. The Gravitic Flux isn't going to capture you and hold you in place and take you out. That's a free blade from Hisang, and so I really have, I don't want to say question, I really, the prevailing wisdom for using the Flux is kind of that negation of the blade opens up the rest of the map, and attack is giving Hisang just more space to work than he realistically deserves.
Yep, and I think in like a macro perspective, like remember the point where I said, hey, just XERO does have the time bank just to lose a fight, straight up lose a fight, and just snowball their ultimates. That fight, they used the Blizzard, and they used a lot of ultimates. I think maybe what XERO should have done is just bait out O2's ultimates and just not use their own, and just kind of snowball from there because they had the time bank to just take advantage of that.
Have we seen Hanzo outside this game yet?
No, I don't think so. Not to my memory.
Yeah. It's interesting because obviously this is the again first day of qualifiers gameplay. Knife getting soloed by the supports is funny as hell.
Want to see that one again? Oh yeah, it's 20 seconds, my bad.
Yeah, you're right back on 20 seconds.
Why does it always reset? That's so annoying. Oh well. Wait, did Bliss solo? No.
Oh
right?
yeah, it was Babel. I mean, it was a combo. It was Babel and Bliss, I think. Oh, okay, that makes more sense now.
Okay.
So flies over, loses his thrusters, whip shot into a double body shot.
Oop, he's on down. But still, attack is like, I guess.
Vacuoles.
Oh.
That's so sad.
That's so sad. Well, I don't think they can actually touch here because Knife already used the deflect.
Yeah.
And even if he does go in, he's just gonna die.
Knife on Genji, you love to see it.
Well, I mean, hence his like username, right?
Yeah.
I did like when I woke up today. Well, I did not expect to see a Genji duel in New York. Did you, LaFine?
No. I'll be honest. Whenever I see Knife, Attack, Irony, and Opener on the same team, my mind immediately goes to how can I make a sentence out of their name.
All right, both amplification matrices expended. Both of them did not have much value. Oh, that's a fat immortality field. I think that just kind of turned the game. Well, the fight rather.
Yeah. Actually, this might actually just capture the second point entirely.
Maybe.
That being said, I think the play that you're gonna try and go for here is rally into Blade to hold second.
Maybe. I don't know. I have a feeling that Sunjin's gonna contest with the Bob.
So far back though.
Well, Bob is there.
Bob's out. That missed.
Low health bars all around the board.
Yeah, there's Blade. They don't use rallies. They just use double DPS ults.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was trying to say. Like, this is what Zero should have done like a while ago. On their attack, because Zero used 2 ultimates, right? And yes, they have 2 more key ultimates coming up, but they should have enough resources, and they have the time bank to make this happen. They have the time bank to lose this fight and just push with sheer force, because they have clearly more limits, and yes, they can kind of like screw this up, but it's kind of harder to screw this up if you have the Dragon Blade, the Dragon Strike, and the Flux. Ooh.
Nice.
Rally's not gonna save you from that blade. Irony.
ISOHAN has had the cleanest blades we've seen on Genji
In a while.
in flash ops anyway.
I mean, we haven't seen that much Genji. Maybe we saw a little bit from Tracer Juan. A little bit from Prophet, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And, but the fact, just let that sink in. Prophet, Tracer Juan, some of the best flex DPSs in the world, and they couldn't. I mean, they haven't made as much impact with the blades. And you have Hisang here, like having 3Ks, 4Ks. Yes, there were some impressive blades, but I still think that overall, Hisang's making a lot of value out of these Genjis.
Window. Like on the mega flank. That's so funny.
Zero's in trouble.
This feels so calm from O2 High School.
Yep. And the question here is going to be, can Zero even contest until Knife has his blade? Maybe.
I mean, they should be able to get out because it's like 7%, right? It's not. You get the blade. I just don't know that the blade's actually going to get any value. Blade.
Well, he still has the lamp, so it's not gonna. Oh wait,
Okay.
the lamp was a little late.
Progress. I mean, this is such an expensive fight coming up now, right? Like, how do you withstand these next 4 ults from high school?
Ooh, by doing that. Good deflect by Knife. So I think that's a little bit more further delay for the side of OT Blast. I think Zero, like you said, the only way that Zero can actually kind of stall / survive is just winning the neutral fight. Oh, Knife just... The dash didn't reset because Knife died before the blade. Which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, and everyone dashed. Oh, this is so lucky. Knife overextended and couldn't, like, the packs couldn't do anything. That's gonna be the round. That's actually gonna be the map in the game.
Yep. We're moving out. So sad. Well, I mean, not sad, I guess, but
I think it's a little sad because, like, I think that there was an opportunity for this to be a much more competitive match, but
exactly.
miscues from Zero to like kind of lose their mark. If that makes sense. But like in
Yep.
terms of like their actual performance mechanically, I think they were like right there with them. This was not a game lost on mechanics. It was very much like strange fights, odd decision making, and just a little bit more presence of mind from O2 High School.
And remember, like, I think I still can't help thinking that on Zero's offense, they could have, like, the difference between O2 High School and Zero, in my opinion, was a lot of the alt disciplines. Remember, like, yes, if you have more alts, you're more likely to win. And if you're in a position where you have a huge time bank, like, what's the advantage of having a huge time bank? That means you have more opportunities, not just in this round, but also in the next, like, future rounds as well. You had in after capping point B, and like when halfway through point C, they had 3 minutes and a half. That means, and they were in a position that if they didn't use ultimates and just forced O2 to use theirs, they had a straight up opportunity where they would have 4 ultimates and O2 would not have any ultimates at all. They decided to match O2's ultimates. They took a gamble and they lost. So in the end, not only did they lose the fight and drop time on the time bank, their next fight was also a neutral fight where neither team had any ultimates. I think that was the big I guess, downside there for Zero. And if you looked at O2 Blast, it was the same situation where the payload was on the bridge for point C, almost halfway through point C.
Yeah.
They had about 3 ultimates. Zero had 2 ultimates. So it was even in an advantageous position for O2. If they just pressed all their ultimates and Zero pressed all their ultimates, they were even likely to win. But O2 Blast showed good discipline and that they know that they have time in the time bank, and their win condition is not only just all they had to do was full cap and they still win the map and match. So they took advantage of Zero using their ultimates. They just give up this fight. We're not using ults here. And after that, they just snowballed from there. And I think that was the big difference.
What do you remember who was in the group for this one? Like between Zero and O2 High School and
I can
so
find
forth?
out. Just give me a quick second.
So I think they may have had the unlucky group.
No, it was LSQ and Tia.
Oh, okay.
LSQ.
Oh, it was the
Tia.
reshuffle. It was on the reshuffle that they got the.
Yes, the second day they had Poker Face, Venom 2, Latan's final weapon. It wasn't that bad.
Interesting. No, that wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I assume they lost to Poker Face, and Poker Face made it to the bracket gameplay.
Yep. So, that was our first series of the day. So we are moving to day 2 of the qualifiers. So, kind of give you some context on how the competition went. Day 1 of the qualifiers, there were 4 to 6 teams based on like how many teams just dropped out. It was supposed to be 6 teams from each group, and then top 2 teams from each group moved to day 2, qualified for day 2. The group shuffled, and so this is a new group with Venom 2. Let me introduce Venom 2 after we see their members here.
Ready for battle.
Venom 2 is like not really, I guess, I don't think you'll recognize a lot of the names here. They are mostly a scrim team,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
I also think that Esteban and Lavender both weren't in the last time we saw this roster.
I'm sorry?
They played other players the last time we saw Venom 2.
Correct.
Navi, Kevin Larone, and the Hangul name, those all look like I can't read it unfortunately, but
Kenjay and Esteban.
yeah, Esteban. I don't know if Esteban played, but the other 3 did.
I haven't checked their Venom 2 games, so I'm not really sure either.
So I think we saw them against Hamster.
Yes. Oh.
I mean, this is the thing. This is one of the qualifier games where what they play is not really a relevant thing. We kind of get to just see.
Well, we get to see
pop off
Hisang
gameplay.
just throw bombs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair to O2 High School, like they can just swap out Hisang for I guess a head scan like Sojourn, and then like or May, and then the composition is gonna be a serious composition. Yeah. It's not like they're off rolling or something.
No. Actually, so far we've only had 1 team off roll. So sad.
I'm gonna try to just turn my brain off for this game, and just like kind of like.
Speaking of off rolling, I am editing a video of certain players who are off rolling in sort of a head-to-head matchup. So when that will come out, who knows?
Does that entail the best tank in the world?
It might. Okay. That would be considered giving a hint, and I don't do that. Sorry.
Okay. Damn. LaFine doesn't like to take things seriously. Oh, is he going? Is he going for the entire? Is he going for the entire?
Have you seen those clips where like Junkrat like double mines, lands on someone's head like a Farah's head, and then rip tires in the air?
No.
It's so funny when it happens.
Why they're using how many ults?
I mean, it's last fight.
Yeah. I haven't.
Touch it.
Nobody touches.
No one. They're gonna Gravitic Flux here, yeah. He doesn't touch the ground.
I don't know. I don't have cam on right now, but I'm just.
Yeah.
Well.
Ready for battle.
My prayers towards Venom 2. That's all I say. He's are you actually gonna play Junkrat on Gardens? I know what his thought process is right now. He's talking to his teammates right now. At this point, he's like, "Hey guys, hey, we're 1-0 anyway. Like, and I can win. Come on, trust me." And like Max Proby is gonna be.
You know, why is it always that DPS players get to play the silly funny heroes? Supports always have to play the hard meta. You know.
Oh, well, I mean, being a support myself, like, there's not really a lot of, just to kind of, I mean, as a support player, there's not a lot of heroes that you can be, that it can be fun for you to play. Like, what are you gonna play if you're just gonna play fun and all that?
If I'm trolling, 100% Weaver.
Well, maybe, but
I say trolling. Weaver's actually kind of growing on me as fun to play.
Weaver's actually okay.
Yeah. After like the last set of buffs he got, like he's not only is he like oh, this is another fun character. Like his healing is like throughput's really high. He's actually pretty decent at dueling because of his high HP plus the regen health plus his thorns dealing not good damage, but good enough damage.
Yeah, it's kind of at that point where it's not like fight changing, but it's also very annoying for the other side.
Yeah, and like I'm not saying that Weaver's the best dueler character in the game or anything, just that he's surprisingly good if you don't pay attention.
Navi, I'm sorry, I am.
Poor Navi's getting put on a poster.
Oh, rip. Poor Bliss can't get his ultimate because nobody's
no taking damage.
At least he's killing people. Alright.
Move them out of the blizzard. That'd be so funny. All these players were on Overwatch League team last season, right? On O2 High School side?
Not Proby. Was Proby?
I thought he was looking for Shock at the end of the season. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, then in that case, yeah.
Babel was Glads, Bliss was Fuel, Max Shock, he sang Shock in Titans, and then Proby's Shock as well.
Okay. Yeah, the Proby was the only one that I thought was not, but...
This ends for who now, though, is the question.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I hereby rename Hisung into the Korean backbone. Oh. Navi.
Alright, that's map 1.
Yep.
Bliss has finally gotten his sound barrier. Entirely out of no fault of his own either, I must highlight.
Well, he's using it. Oh wait, Proby.
Oh, that was it.
He wanted to use his ultimate, all right. He wanted to use his ultimate somewhere.
I was gonna say ambitious, and then I was like, no, that's not ambitious.
That's
just
mischievous. Remember in the Marauders map where you say, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good? That's the kind of ultimate that you kind of like do that Fred Weasley-ish ultimate. Well, that was that.
Poor Venom 2. They didn't deserve to have their gameplay roasted like this, but
hey, but do you know what poor Venom 2 is up to right now? They have to do another map. And it's gonna be Midtown. The city of the free. And also city of the rats. Oh wait. What the fuck pizza go?
Oh no. Now I want pizza. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and I want pizza.
Oh, we have Hofak now. Hofak back.
Oh yeah.
Hofak was pretty decent against
yeah, no, Hofak was in contenders at some point.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Revival?
Yes, that's right.
And he was pretty good. I remember against Hamsters, yes, they were off-rolling, but still, Hofak was one of the bright spots and kept that series alive.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, Hisong on the Echo. So, what O2 is doing right now is they're playing very serious compositions, but they're not playing it seriously. Like, well, I mean, no, not in a disrespectful way. It's just that they're just kind of like taking a little bit, leaning back.
And they're not min-maxing the composition. Although you say that, I think on this map so far they have been.
Maybe they just kind of found out that they had dinner appointment. They had dinner plans. Oh, Navi. Oh, poor Navi.
He's accounted for himself well. That was 2 packs plus the dodge on the elimination.
Proby's looking for him. Proby gave up. He heard the blink. He heard the blink.
Oh, this is not good. Oh, okay. So far, I mean, Navi's getting so much attention that the front line is kind of forced to back up a little bit.
Good play by Navi here. And I don't know if it's going to be 100% Navi's credit, but it did kind of distract O2 High School enough for them to give up a little bit of ground here. Which
yeah, I mean, actually, Oh,
is not
Vision
gonna
going down
matter.
is not great. No, that's so sad.
Well,
Duplicate.
to be
from,
fair, they had
Nissan
2
provides
Sigmas.
the-
Oh, Navi. Okay, finally.
Probably gets a super band. That's like, I mean, the problem there is legitimately just no elimination comes through from the Ant Matrix, right? That needed to find kills. It's a good start. Like they do a good job of starting the fight with Navi, pulling everyone away from the objective, and then Hofak finding the elimination. But once the Ant Matrix goes out, you need to clean up the remaining 3 members, or 4 members. And they just don't. And the survivability means that the respawns get value from O2 high school.
This ends now.
Oh, poor Hofak.
Ooh. Okay, so Venom might actually be up to something here.
It's 2 players down.
Losing
It's a
hope
2
back
for
in
2 trade.
Navi is
Yeah.
kind of like, it's kind of bad though. Okay, never
Oh
mind.
no. Yeah, there's no ranged damage to keep the hit scan in check. And so Proby feasts.
Again, it was a good start of the fight, but they can't seem to close it out.
Collapsing the barrier.
A Vision's gonna fall here as well.
One thing I like about Sigma is in between your that was ambitious. In between your rotation, you can wave hello.
30 seconds remaining.
I don't think this pickup on the Hisang means anything. It's like everyone's so far back. That like Venom 2 has not been able to capitalize on the windows they've created for themselves, both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, like the ultimate and also the opportunities.
Yeah.
Oh, Lavender is gonna. Lavender taken out. Lavender was singled out.
And no one can touch.
Navi probably can.
All right, doesn't. Oh, he doesn't have recon. Never mind. Man, that's so many blinks used. 2
Wait.
ticks. All right, all right. They get a 3rd. Wait, they're just giving it up.
They are.
All right. Nice. Let's go Venom 2.
Back to the Genji. So it's really like it's really funny for me to just like point out here that some fights, the fights that Venom 2 started really well, they all lost, and the one fight that they lost Lavender first and were at a numbers disadvantage, they ended up capping, which is kind of, I don't know how I feel about that.
I think just like more focus. Oh, back.
Oh,
Oh, barely.
Well, Proby and Bliss trying to keep that corridor, so maybe they can have, I guess, an easier access on that high ground. Because this high ground's really key to controlling a lot of space in this map here.
Man, Hofak takes so much damage in the approach. They can't force this overclock. And with that, yeah, this. Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, we know that this Hisang kid is very good at the Genji. Navi. Oh.
What's this just running him down?
Oh. Yeah, you are on
That's
fire,
mean.
boy.
That's mean.
At least Venom 2 got some, I guess, I would say very considerable progress, considering that they were almost full
Yep.
health.
Yep. No, I think this is impressive from Venom. I don't expect them to capture second, but this has been a very strong shot.
Ooh. Wait, did Lavender have? Oh, Lavender already used the lamp.
Yeah, the lamp. Nice play from Hofak there to bait the deflect and then hit the shot afterwards. I mean, it's not going to matter in terms of contesting objectives, but it shows the mechanics of.
Yeah, Hofek's
player.
been like a very impressive player, like hit scan player, through the very limited opportunities that we've been able to see him. I think I would boldly say that, like, given like a better setup around, like given a better team on like a much stronger team, I think he should be able to develop into a much like I guess better player. He's already a really good player. I think he has a lot of potential to be like on that highest level tier player.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, one of the like critiques about Hofak is that his hero pool is limited. Like it's mostly just Sojourn.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of like, I guess that applies for a lot of players.
I mean, that's the new wave contenders hit scan thing, right? Where it's like you only have to play Sojourn in a competitive environment. Do you have it? You don't really have much else in your hero pool, right? So
Stay focused, old man.
that's the like next development aspect. And I should highlight, when I say they don't have that in their hero pool, what I mean is when they don't know how to play it in a competitive setup. Because just because you can play it at the highest level of rank does not mean that you're going to be able to translate into success into a competitive environment, because setups are different, timing is different, approach is different. So you can develop those skills, but Hofak doesn't have them. To the last time we saw him in competitive play, he did not have that yet outside of Sojourn.
Because I just want to elaborate on LaFont's point here is that like competitive hero pools and the pro level of play is mostly about strategic and tactical maneuvers and whether you understand what your hero does in your tactical setup. So that not only just like entails mechanical prowess, but also entails a lot of, I guess, strategic understanding and positioning as well. Ooh, Hofak.
That's such a good trade for Hisang though.
So with Vision down and Hofak likely to go down as well, it looks like I don't think there is an opportunity for Venom to actually contest point A.
Yeah, no, they can't. They can't contest point A. Especially because Navi's the last one to respawn, right?
Wait, who's contesting?
No, they don't. They can't touch. They cannot touch at all. Keep in mind the golden box of victory is under the bridge.
So one more, I guess, one extended fight or two fights may be able to do the job.
Yeah, but I mean, this is where O2 High School are gonna roll up to like resources, right? Assuming they don't get eliminations here, that's not a foregone conclusion. Like you're gonna, yeah, I mean, Flux for sure, Blade for sure,
Even the Bob.
and you just don't have anything defensively to stop that.
Oh, Max is just single-handedly, like, stalling 3 players from taking the high ground. There is that Blade. I mean, yes, he did
job
fall.
done.
Yeah, job done.
Job
Because
done.
he understands that the lamp was already down, so he, Venom 2 doesn't have any defensive measures to counter that Blade. And is there even anyone to touch? Yes, Navi does touch. I think that Pulse Bomb stuck onto the shield and it did not take down Bliss. Bliss is very aggressive because he knows he can, and that is just the end of map 2 and also that series against Venom 2. A very comfortable win for the side of OT High School.
Yeah, very comfortable win. I expected, knowing what we know about O2 High School, like where they made it, in the bracket. But yeah, very comfortable from them, and not just comfortable. So far, very poised. This team doesn't really panic a lot, and I'm interested in what adversity shows. Like, what happens when they are in an adverse situation? Because so far, they haven't really been tested by anybody. In neither in brackets nor in group play, realistically speaking. They've dropped 1 map so far.
Yep. Well, that's really interesting to know because remember, a lot of teams, like, this is like relatively a very young team in terms of age, and even though if they have the mechanics, if they have the tactical, like, strategic prowess to execute all the, I guess, strategic play that their coaching staff have been cooking, like you said, LaFine, like a lot of Overwatch matches have been won and lost through like the mental fortitude of the players, and so far they haven't been challenged, like you said. It'll be interesting to see how they fare against some of the more, I guess, stronger rosters of this competition, and one of them is going to be what we are going to see right now. This match is O2 High School versus ISOHAN.
Ready for battle.
So as you can see on the name tags here, we do have a little bit of a more high caliber team in terms of name value. We'll see how it goes.
Obviously, this is the team that someone and
5, 4,
Merit are
Yes.
subs for.
1. Round 1.
Someone and
in
Merit
Saudi
are
League.
both playing in the Saudi E-League, and they are they're registered in the roster so that if they come back to Korea, they can just play at any time.
Yeah. And I will say, Ants and Kalios have done their job in the games that we've seen of ISOHAN up to this point.
But also to point out that my opinion is that, yes, doing your job is like admirable in its own sense, but you need to do more than doing your own, like holding your own, if you want to win the entire tournament.
Yeah, agreed. Bro just gets rolled up on. It's so funny.
Remember, there's a lot of talent on ISOHAN as well. There's Pelican, there's Chorong, there's Vigilante. I would even say that Kalios is really good on the, like, it's his meta as well.
In 2022, if I remember correctly, Chorong was one of the most sought after main supports.
Yep.
And obviously an OWL champion a year later.
Yeah, he had a first rough year in his first year of OWL, but,
I mean, we could say he was with Toronto Defiant. That team's cursed.
well, speaking from a Canadian, so I'll take that.
Toronto, the city, is cursed. No team in Toronto does well. I'm convinced it's not possible.
What about the Blue Jays? Didn't they do well in baseball a few years back?
No.
They didn't? Okay.
The last time they had any modicum of success was in 2015.
Okay.
I think they've missed the playoffs every year after. Was it after 2016, I think?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they're a struggling team.
Ooh, Max is in quite a trouble. Nice! Okay, I was about to say it was a nice attempt. It's a nice attempt by Bliss to keep Max alive, but was not enough. Kalios is going to be under fire and is taken down. So maybe Bliss's sound barrier was worth it. He stalled enough time for Proby to clean house.
The other thing there was the photon barrier. It uses it to bypass the line of sight. Vigilante's caught out by himself. And then the duel. It's not. Meaning you can't heal your team, and now you're facing down the barrel of an overclock. You just can't support the rest of your squad, and O2 High School do a great job of cleaning up afterwards. It was also pretty expensive for ISOHAN, right? Like,
yep, they used the photon barrier. They used the gravitic flux. So, and now
also, this angle from Ants on the overclock is not finding anything. Like, he's not looking at anybody. Everyone's just hiding in a corner. Rightly. And it's costing him.
ooh, that was a snipe.
Yeah, Ants trying to chase down that duel against Proby, and you're never going to get that.
I mean, without getting killed yourself, maybe the best you can get is like a trade kill, right?
Yes. I think if you're looking at this, like there's like a ebb and flow to Overwatch fights, right? O2 High School know how to kind of filter back with that flow. Like they don't try and force the fight when they don't need to, and they're actually surviving things that maybe they otherwise wouldn't if they were trying to force a fight, right?
Well, I think that was good aggression from the side of ISOHAN. They used the beat early, they used the sound barrier early for that extra health, and they used that sustain to just sheer force O2 High School out of the point. And, well, I mean, considering that it was overtime, I think O2 High School just like had that, they were kind of like thinking, hey, we have a few more opportunities to take it back, so we're not going to try to overinvest on trying to match that aggression from ISOHAN, which I think is a good decision.
Man, the photon barrier has been just getting so much more use from than it is
Oh.
from Pelican. And another stun. Nice. That is such a commanding round considering the relative skill level of these two teams.
Yep. I mean, like I said, when we started this match, we were expecting a little bit more of ISOHAN trying to challenge, throw questions at O2 High School. Hey, like, I know you've been very dominant against lower power level teams, but can you stay the same even against us? At least for the current moment, the answer is going to be yes. Like LaFont said, there is an ebb and flow to the flow of Overwatch. However, apart from the few team fight losses that arguably O2 High School were okay with, they agreed to lose. They were saving resources and just like accepted that they were going to lose this fight. Except from those kind of fights, it was mostly O2 High School that were winning these kind of fights that they really needed to win.
Oh, that's so many resources forced out defensively from ISOHAN already. Like, Cryo's been used, Wall obviously has been used, and they get priority reach positioning. O2 High School, that is.
Oh, good accretion to Kalios. That kind of forces the lamp to be used on Kalios, so that's a huge cooldown used already.
Oh, poor Oz.
Huh.
Yeah, another wall for sectioning off the healing, and much more clinical approach here from O2 High School. Yeah. It feels like they're like 10, maybe 15% ahead of their opponent in terms of like speed of play, isolation, and like execution, damage throughput.
And they're kind of making it look easy.
Yeah, like the only thing that's like sort of even or ahead is the sound barrier from Chorong, but that can be chalked up to the fact that you took more damage, right? Zoning Blizzard maybe?
Okay, that's a good beat from Chorong to counter the Gravitic Flux from the side of O2 High School.
I mean, yeah, credit to ISOHAN. That's like they just used the sound barrier for like 3 or 4 ults. 3 ults rather.
Yep,
from
it was the
O2 High
Photon
School.
Barrier, it was the Gravitic Flux, and it was also the Blizzard. I think the Blizzard that they just kind of walked out of it. And after they just used Chorong's sound barrier to counter the Flux. Still, the bright side for O2 High School is that they still have the both support ultimates. They will be able to use the... they didn't even need to use the sound barrier for against Kalios's Gravitic Flux. So they're going, their economy, their ult economy is running back again.
Yeah. No, Pelican barrier, photon barriers have just not been as good as Hisang's. Hisang has been consistently good at like dividing up the battlefield in a way that like his team can walk in without taking damage, and there's just no avenues for ISOHAN. The same cannot be said for Pelican. Pelican leaves way too many angles open.
Okay, that's gonna be Ans's Blizzard. Does force Bliss's sound barrier out. Remember, this is almost an extra sound barrier that they've saved from that they haven't used from Kalios's Gravitic Flux. Yet the fight is going on in favor of ISOHAN. So credit to ISOHAN on for this one, I guess.
Yeah. I mean now I mean it's still last fight territory kind of setup, right? So how do you survive the damage deluge that's coming in your way? Down barrier is not going to be able to deal with all three of the ultimate.
I guess for ISOHAN, they have to do what O2 High School did to them. They just kind of like juke the Blizzard. And
I mean, we need to see a photon barrier that like blocks off the majority of the damage.
I really like ISOHAN's wall once again.
Yeah, no, it allows them in for free. You can't cancel the flux here. Yeah, and again, I mean, this photon barrier is actually a lot better, but I don't think it matters
At this point.
Yeah.
Because they already lost so many members, and it's also overtime, so yeah, longer spawn times. Wow. Again, I agree with your assessment that, like, despite ISOHAN having a very, I guess, more lucrative, just roster, it still looks like O2 High School's dominating. Like, yes, again, they lose some fights, but it never felt like O2 High School kind of let go of control of the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, that was very interesting, and let's see how map 2 goes. Remember, this is knockouts from, this is a knockout game, so it's a first to 3, and also loser gets to choose the map.
Yep.
Which is going to be Blizzard World.
Ooh. Nice.
I think it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know how... I thought ISOHAN might have opted to go with Midtown because, remember, they don't play anything, so far, they don't play anything that's not the Sigma composition. So,
but I mean, if there's any team that's going to mirror you most of the time in the Sigma anyway, it is going to be O2 High School, right? I think O2 High School has actually only played Sigma. They did have a little bit of Junker Queen.
Yep. And Samoa against XERO.
Yeah. But I don't think they played Doomfist at all.
Didn't they?
If they did, it was like vanishingly small. They have played this as the majority of their comp, right?
They're already at this point.
So damage. Isang executing really, really well on that backline.
But in the end, they lost Max first, so it should be a very difficult fight. Yep, they're slowly bleeding out, and they have to back out.
Yeah.
Stop the pain.
I think
They just lost two. I mean, it was close. I think there was a chance for that to kind of turn back into O2 High School's favor. But again, just the getting those key eliminations.
Yeah, I mean, Max getting caught out there was probably just like the point.
I do like how much more aggressively O2 High School takes space on this point, onto the turret. That's something we've seen a lot of teams like fail to do and lose the map because of that. Actually, I mean Smurfs, amusingly enough, right? Remember when they kind of gave up second for free in that game against in the bracket?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it was kind of I think just a single mistake just snowballed into that, because remember, they were trying to reset, trying to take that pylon high ground, and they failed to do so because of a bad leap, if I remember correctly.
He's like trying to do the two-step to dodge the Ansa shot. Doesn't work out for too long.
I mean, I really like what ISOHAN's doing. They're trying to, they're taking terrain aggressively.
I
like
think the problem is this window's a little too early. and it's gonna the window's gonna fade, and the Bob's gonna be able to contest like in the meantime.
Oh,
Wait, where'd the Bob go?
yeah, where'd the Bob go? Lot of resources used on both sides, but in the end, I mean, good play from ISOHAN again. Remember, they used a lot of resources of their own, but at the same time, also OT High School used a lot of ultimates as well. And like for me, if I were to be asked if you're gonna use a lot of resources to just cap point B of Blizzard World, I would take it because Blizzard point B is a tricky point to cap, and
Like, what was that? 9 ults used in that fight, I guess.
I think so.
Barrier is glittering.
Ooh, Proby
Ooh.
taken down by Aunts. That's
This is such a good boot from Bliss. I mean, I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of the fight, but it's a good play nonetheless.
Yep, they just denied like a full tactical setup by ISOHAN there. So, I mean, it's just not mechanically. Not only is it mechanically good, it's also a proof of understanding that not only of their tactical setup as well, they understand what the opponent is trying to do as well, which is really impressive. Like considering how young these players are.
Max is dead. This is a ridiculous time bang.
Yeah, almost 4 minutes.
They're gonna, yeah, no one can even contest. Wow. That is incredible from ISOHAN.
Exactly. So, we haven't covered ISOHAN yet, but this looks like a totally different team from what we've seen in Samoa so far.
Yeah, no, for real.
Initiating
Like all on the same target. Their isolation is really strong. They're actually executing on the players that are caught out. Realistically, the only complaint I had was that the Ant Matrix was like a little too early. That's like such a
And point B.
Yeah, and that's like such a nothing complaint, really.
I mean, especially if you force the opponent to use all their ultimates and still cap the point, right?
Yeah. That is incredible. All right.
Inquiry is unnecessary.
No swaps, no comp swaps from the side of OT High School yet.
Maybe you know a little bit and you keep asking questions until you figure it out.
I think I really like using the Symmetra and the Lucio instead of the. Well, I mean, I guess it's situational in a lot of times, but with the Brig and May, I think this. Oh well, I guess in this case it's the Ashe instead of the Symmetra. The comp gets way too slow, especially in a large map like this, Blizzard World.
one. Attackers interest.
All right.
What a, I guess, warm welcome from the side of ISOHAN.
Fire and Ice, Dynamite, and the Freeze. That's a nice teleport, and everyone gets through as well. They have high ground control. Lamp forced already. I will say one thing the Brig does give you that the Lucio doesn't is more brawl potential, right? Like you can deal just more damage.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
And Chorong takes advantage of that. The whip shots.
Actuating the barrier.
And also, I think, like in select situations where the fight is really extended, I think Rally has a little bit more value on
Sure, yeah.
like compared to the sound barrier. Well, I mean, of course, again, this is very situational, but especially against a Sigma versus Sigma composition, I think it's really important that you have the Rally instead of the sound barrier, except for maybe if you're countering the gravitic flux.
This has been a very the approach that they're trying to do is have Max play anchor on the point and take the high ground away on top of the the little ship building. I forgot what the call out for that is, but anyway. But ISOHAN is doing a good job of making sure that Max does not get line of sight. The lamp has to be used so early so they don't get healing in, and then they're cleaning up the fight afterwards.
Yep. And this is going to be the important fight here. A lot of key ultimates online for both sides. Both amplification matrix used. Proby falling first. This is not a good sign. But the Blizzard is already registered. So O2 Eyes. Oh, I've been I need to swap the team names. I'm sorry for that. But O2 High School.
Wait, they're committing to this?
Yeah, they're committing.
And it's kind of working. That's a good boot. The zero-man blocks. Kalios is down. Wait, they're actually going to turn this.
Incredible. I thought this was not going to work.
I mean, realistically, it shouldn't. Blizz does work there, making sure the Flux doesn't get anything. That's an incredible turnaround. And actually a bit of a fumble from ISOHAN on that point.
Exactly.
Hell, man, Proby is not having good math. Every time he steps out, Pelican takes his head off.
Alright, so OTO High School is reverting a little bit to the more brawly composition that you've been talking about. However, they still have the Symmetra to get them to places. I think that's okay wall.
Ooh, I like the teleport to play on both sides of the wall.
Oh, but not getting a lot of value here. Hisong about to be taken out.
Yeah, Chorong and Pelican both chased him down. This is just slowing down time. Keep in mind that O2 High School has to capture with time, right, on third point. It's 351. Man, that's such a big time bank.
Let's just say they have a long way to go.
Man, Pelican's been living rent-free in that corner.
Ooh, okay. Bob is almost in the works. Not the best wall in the world, however, the Blizzard is there. 3 members frozen, Babel and Bliss. Babel, how does he even live? And the fights, I don't know how O2 High School is winning these fights.
Yeah, that one's a little another time where I don't know, they're just
like Hisong back to the Genji. Yes, that's a good. I mean, we've seen a lot of impressive stuff from Hisong, but the Blizzard froze 3 members of O2 High School, like Max, Bliss, and Babel. Bliss was taken down. How does Babel even live, and how does the DPS do it just single-handedly?
Watch that last fight again from Pelican's POV.
Sure. We need to go a little bit further back.
Yeah, still a little bit further. Maybe another like 30 seconds. Okay, so right here, yeah, perfect. Okay, so wall decent. They don't get the closeout, so the wall breaks so they can fall down. That's fine. So far, nothing egregious. 2 seconds for your next wall. Wall decent so far. Blizzard decent so far. Forced to cryo. I mean, this Bob is doing his work. They're just so out of sync. They actually just like half the team turns to look and deal with the Bob because the Bob gets a kill, and then a nice boot to take everyone back from the Blizzard, and they just don't follow up on that damage.
I think it was a calm mistake from the side of
Yeah,
the
a little bit of a. It feels like the team was not on the same page. I mean, credit to
O2 High School.
O2 High School for sure. And also, Proby's Bob did work.
It was a 65.
Damage, presence, displacement, like everything.
Talius.
Good start to the fight so far.
Yep.
That's lamp used. Flux should not get any kills here. Kalios regains high. How? Kalios regains high ground and still. Oh my god, Proby is picking it up.
Oh,
Kalios, where's your shield? Hello?
oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, window damage. Then dynamite. Oh, that is just some very lazy gameplay from
ISOHAN.
ISOHAN.
Okay, so this is how they get back on their feet. Hisung has a Dragon Blade. I don't know if there's any. Maybe if Ons has a very good Bob, Hisung doesn't
Bob
have
plus-
an angle.
Well, Bob plus Brig, you should be able to stop this Dragon Blade. You should be able to stop payload. You should be able to like draw this down to like 30 seconds for an overtime capture at the very best. For
I mean, again,
Bob's too early. Again, it's another forced play.
and then they just wait out for the Bob to expire,
Yeah.
and then they can use their own Bob and the Dragon Blade.
Yeah. Yeah, Rally doesn't do anything here. You wait for the spacing. Rally gets the first
And then
dash.
there's the Bob.
There it is. Perfect. That is actually perfect from O2 High School. The veteran team is getting antsy.
Huh.
I mean,
So-
even still, it should even if they capture, right? Because like they'll probably capture with time now. Because I mean, you have Blizzard, but I mean, Blizzard should still win you the fight. You just hold it for final fight on the objective where they have to contest.
Oh, is it gonna be this?
No, another forced play. Okay, at least they get elimination. 2-1. Okay, that's really good. No way. They're
Max-
still gonna try and turn this. Oh my god.
Max lives. Max is gonna live.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
ISOHAN
Vigilance is down.
They're just trying to force everything. Nice block. Really well done. 30 seconds. Keep an eye on the clock. 'Cause remember, if they get to overtime, there's no contest. There's no offense.
Oh,
Unbelievable. ISOHAN just keeps forcing fights.
that's not even necessary.
Yeah.
Remember about like having a big time bank? Like that means you have that much more opportunities, and I don't know, like it looks like they're playing like the team that doesn't have time.
Yeah, it really does.
Like they have.
All right. I mean, they still have 4.5 minutes. Here's something interesting about overtime or like extra inning setups. If you can capture the objective without using ultimates just before overtime goes into effect, you actually have a very good chance of making significant progress because of how long overtime spawns are. So if you can win an overtime fight with ults, you are often I don't say guaranteed. It's like an 80% chance to get the next objective, just because of how long it takes for respawns to come through.
I'm still very well, both impressed by O2 High School and a little bit of disappointed in ISOHAN. Like
Yeah.
ISOHAN's attack, like we've been talking about ISOHAN a little bit. ISOHAN looks like we've been talking about how ISOHAN looks like a very different team. Like even here, like
Yeah, it's Jekyll and Hyde. Like on the offense, they look great, and then on the defense, like, what was happening there? I mean, again, that's just a lot of ground being given up for nothing.
for an accretion, right?
Yeah. Man, Max is single-handedly holding them at bay. No, Vigilante. Ooh.
Oh.
No.
This is point A.
This is point A. I mean, Proby's playing very, very well here. But even still, you cannot be giving opportunities to a hit scan like this.
Yeah, and he's not with the crossfire angle. If he lives.
I mean, this is one thing Genji's so good at, right? Like the mobility, jumping over the wall, getting in some pepper damage, continuing. Okay, this is where I was talking about where that 1 minute time bank comes into play. They capture the first fight without any ults. Now the first overtime fight, they're going to have ultimates, and there's nothing to respond to on ISOHAN's side, which means that it's likely they actually capture the second objective if they win this fight, because there's no response.
And maybe, I don't know, oh, that's a fat.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I think one thing that ISOHAN's doing good at is that they're trying to like have the fight as early as possible.
Yes.
So
yes.
They're trying to have O2 High School use all their ultimates, but unfortunately they only used one, and it's going to be Hisang's Dragon Blade, also the Bob, and the window as well. So
that is not a good window.
Oh. Wait, I want to see how.
Babel missed his window.
Uh-oh. Oh well.
Okay, I mean, good start for ISOHAN.
So that's a Dragon Blade.
You force a bad window and the elimination.
Oh, this might be it.
Yeah, this should be it. Yeah, it is it for sure.
Hisang in shambles.
Okay, I mean, that's a good hold. It could have been better, but like reasonable hold.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll still sting that they have. They gave a full point and a half, right?
Yeah.
And at this point, I think O2 High School should feel that this map's winnable at this point, because yes, 4.5 minutes is a long time bank, but remember, like, even if you give up point A, as long as you can have them expend their ultimates, I think they should have a pretty good chance of winning.
Yeah. Also keep in mind, point A and B were lost because it was like 2 early pickoffs that O2 High School couldn't recover from.
If Hisang didn't die without Dragon Blade, that might have been a totally different story.
Yeah. This is also the most we've ever seen a Blizzard World in Flash Ops.
I am not trapped. My colleagues give
Yeah.
Both teams completed the map, and we're going back to.
I thought the same thing for too long. Actuating the barrier.
All right.
Almost seems ISO got a bit complacent after the time, and maybe, yeah, it might be so. At least he shouldn't be complacent as much as here now, because they know they have a clear win condition. They need to at least cap point A and then push, what, 77 meters if they want to win.
Okay, so far, I mean, a passive setup against the May Symmetra I don't hate, because they can get onto the high ground and go into them.
High ground control taken by ISOHAN. I like the setup by ISOHAN.
And Max is already pressuring them off the high ground.
Oh, but yeah, exactly. And not only did they take them off, but they already took Pelican out of the picture. So this is going to have a fast reset for the side of ISOHAN. The slower they die, the more time more time's gonna burn.
I mean, that's a minute gone. Right? And Max must have like a threat aura or something around him. Every time he goes near someone, they walk away. A much more passive setup here because the teleport play has been really the only approach.
Ooh.
Nice. I mean, this is a perfect wall. They can't really follow up on the damage onto Proby. A bad reset. I mean, you're gonna trade Proby's life here for an elimination, surely.
It's just gonna be Proby though. Oh, Bliss down is gonna be
Okay, this is actually really good for ISOHAN. Yeah, they're gonna capture this point.
Wait a second.
Too early, they're gonna capture this point.
No, they're not. No, I want to see this fight again.
Yeah, this is.
So I want to see.
Actually, let's do the overhead. Let's do the overhead for this one. Yeah, that'd be perfect. So we actually get to see how it breaks down.
So
Okay,
they
so
lose,
start good.
They lose Proby here. They also lose Bliss.
They lose Bliss too, yeah.
He's not has
he's
a
saying-
cryo.
They lose Max. They don't lose Max. Babel. Okay, Babel comes in mega clutch with this Ant Matrix here. Max cycles down to like, what is this? A quarter HP. Babel comes in over the top with the window to heal Max up to full, keep Hisang in play. Blizzard sticks down to kill Kalios off the Blizzard, isolate Pelican, and Vigilante and Ants are just never in the fight while Chorong's off doing who knows what.
Charles got also caught down.
O2 High School just successfully turned a 3v5, not even giving up a single tick of the objective.
Wow, that's impressive.
Can we see that fight from Babel's point of view? Because I think he's the reason they win this, like straight up. Okay, so far, yeah, Bliss dies, can't really do anything, a little bit of pepper damage. Okay, nothing so. Yeah, this is actually just. Oh my god, the shift is so silly. Shift one grenade. Max goes from critical to full HP basically. That's wild. I mean, that's okay. So this fight here, I'd say like 7 times out of 10 doesn't work. There's a perfect coalescence of things happening together. One, the Blizzard comes in perfectly right as Kalios dies. Or sorry, the Ant Matrix comes in perfectly to keep Max alive and get the elimination to Kalios. Then the Ant Matrix, or sorry, the Blizzard to prevent the healing from Vigilante and the isolation of Pelican. And Chorong just can't keep his team up. I mean, it's literal perfection to keep that hold. And now they're down to only 2 minutes left and no percentage of a point being taken.
Oh, good accretion to deny the.
You cannot let. Babel has now survived being frozen in a blizzard twice. Okay, they don't. There's no way. There's no way they hold this one. Yeah.
Bap God, I agree.
If O2 High School had won that fight, I think we would have to like retroactively award.
ISOHAN.
Well, we'd have to give ISOHAN something. Award is not really what I'd be going for.
Oh, that's Kalios gonna be down. Wait, okay.
Okay. Just keep your spacing.
But then Vigilante also has to use the Ant Matrix just to
Ant
keep
Matrix, yeah.
alive, and
no.
Pelican just dies. Oh no.
Kalios' shield management there not very strong.
So
I think Pelican expected the shield to still be there so he could cross and then it was down. So it's taking
remember
it.
that we talked about ultimates and overtime. It's not overtime yet, but like if you just look at the ultimates here, the Hisang already has the Blizzard, and like as you can see, the Blizzard is really good in a defensive setting, right? Like more so than in like being in an offensive setting. And then again,
Would you call Mei a defensive character?
Not necessarily, but
No, I was just going for a joke for like the old school. You remember when DPS were like separated to attack and defense?
Yes. Yes, I know.
I think wasn't Mei a defense character back then? Yeah, she was.
She was. But like I guess she's good in controlling space, and then if you're in a defensive setting, then like it's much easier to control space because if you're in an attacking setting, you have to like I guess
you have to take space.
You have to take space, which is a lot harder to do.
Yeah.
And then Vigilante had to use his Ant Matrix just to keep his teammates alive, whereas Babel might have to do that again, like just as Vigilante had to do it, but he has the option now because ISOHAN already expended their chance to do it. So like with only 54 seconds on the clock left, time bank left, O2 High School is a lot more in an advantageous position than I think they are. They think they are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead. Sorry if I.
No, I was gonna say like the Blizzard here is game winning. It just needs to get an elimination.
Oh,
Korog, what are you doing?
there's that wall.
Oh no, Pelican.
Pelican was so close to taking that. And remember, look at the ultimates right now. Yes, Callius
Yeah.
we'll be having that gravitic flux soon. But with 24 seconds and having to respawn, I don't think Ants will be able to have that Blizzard
No.
right away.
No.
But
I think if they get these stagger kills, the only one who's gonna be able to touch is Chorong.
oh,
We had a bit of an early reset on the like no one can touch. No one can touch. Not in a serious manner.
this is his game.
Yeah. This was 4.5 minutes versus 1 minute. 1.5 minutes
That has
on the
to
time
be-
bank.
That has
That
to be
is
moral breaking.
unbelievable.
That has to be moral breaking for ISOHAN.
Well, I mean, we'll have to find out, right? Map number 3. So I assume I assume Suravasa, surely.
Yep, correct.
Ready for battle.
Texture low texture Overwatch.
One of the nice things about having a strong computer is I can run like high textures and not have any impact on my performance.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like I run on a 2080 Ti, so
Yeah.
old.
And I mean,
graphic
I
cards.
honestly do not care about the those trees that sometimes you can hide in if you're a sniper if you're on high textures. I do not care about those at all, so I don't mind playing on high.
All right, so
On Sojourn versus this. They've been kind of taking turns, like switching up the philosophy of the composition. This is one thing I wish I had an opportunity to kind of talk to the coaches about. Because like, obviously we get a sense of like why certain things are strong and so forth. But I like hearing the philosophy of why the coaches pick for certain moments, right?
oh, I think that was a decent wall. Well, not decent enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Mostly low health bars around the board, across the board. But it's Pelican that gets taken down first. So numbers disadvantages for the side of ISOHAN.
This might be the roughest match I've seen Pelican have.
And it's not like Pelican did bad.
No, I don't think it's just like unlucky.
It's already like, look how fast progress
Flashpoint.
is on Flashpoint. It's already
Yeah.
63%. Like this is like, arguably like one extended fight, right? Because there
Yeah.
wasn't a single wipe in the entirety of the map yet. And then like,
Oh, I mean, they're gonna wipe off this Blizzard. I have a feeling. They do all the flip to come through though.
not for long.
Yeah.
The
And
question is
Kalios
gonna be
being
is
Whoa. Chorog, what is this rally?
Sorry.
so I was about to say the big question was Max going to have to use his gravitic flux? But the answer is going to be no, even despite Choro already expending the rally. But I mean,
Well,
all the more is
yeah.
good for O2 High School because
the problem with that rally being used with that fight is that now the second point is gonna be captured for free. Like even if you overexpend here on ISOHAN's side,
I mean, there's even if you overinvest, O2 High School will be having the tools to match.
yeah. Oh, this is so, and they have prio position because obviously they won that last fight with a teleport plus movement.
This is what I'm talking about, like having a composition with the Lucio, like in comparison to having the break for that.
Oh, I love the photon barrier as a counter to
The Gravitic Flux.
well, no, as a counter to overclock.
See, this is what's happening right now. This is exactly what Ethan, like, explaining for the past 30 seconds right now. Because remember, look at how ISOHAN used all their ultimates except for the amplification matrix. Even though if this is considered an over-investment from the side of ISOHAN, O2 High School, because they didn't have to use the gravitic flux early in the first point, they can match this ultimate and eventually win the fight. So this is also like arguably a free second point for the side of O2 High School.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is what I was worried about when the stack of the rally came in with no reason.
Well,
I mean, this is still clutchable. This is still clutchable. Okay, Bliss versus Kalios. They get the flip, yeah.
I still think that this point's still going O2's way. Maybe if ISOHAN makes good use of the Blizzard and the rally, maybe they might be able to have a chance, because this is Flashpoint where progress is stacked so fast quickly.
Okay, I mean, good so far.
Oh,
Eesh.
let's take it down early.
I mean, this is actually so good. This is good. This is really good. I like the quick reset though, because with a teleport plus sound barrier or sound like a speed
boost, they could
there
probably
is
contest.
actually they actually can get a contest. Yeah, they should still lose the fight though, because Pelican has Blizzard.
But it still forces the Blizzard out.
Yes. Yeah. You're trading a point for a resource trade.
I think O2 High School thinks different though. They want to take this point.
How did?
No, but they don't.
No. Okay. Good. And actually, it doesn't cost them anything.
Well, I guess they do have to concede prio for the next point, because. But I think.
But you got rid of Flux and you got the point, right? So
yeah,
like,
I'll take
it's
that.
not a perfect trade, but it's good enough. Good bodyguarding by ISOHAN. This is so expensive a fight in this corner. How did Bob just get? How did Bob get Photon Barrier and Blizzard?
Huh. The only tools that O2 High School has is going to be the Sand Barrier, and which is going to be used for this fight. The Blizzard is expended. Oh.
Actually, let's go back to the start of this fight. I want to see what Babble's doing. There's no reason Pelican should have died here. What happened? Okay. So far, nothing egregious. Cryo freeze forced. Oh my God! Pelican just blows up. That is literally a perfect burst through Ant Matrix.
Let them out.
Jeez. Oh my God. What? That's disgusting. That's so gross.
You call this character support.
That is so unlucky.
Unlucky, you say?
I mean,
yes.
okay, if you're a 250 HP character like Pelican, right? Do you really expect to be one bursted cross map by a Baptiste?
No. I don't.
That's now two maps in a row where Babel has turned a fight with Ant Matrix. That's wild.
Blizzard rolled and
Yeah.
Saravasu now. And the thing is, remember, I remember this player at Team BM. Do you remember his Team BM days?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And he was a DPS player.
He was a DPS player. Actually, funnily enough, he was in the Overwatch League as a DPS player.
True.
That much struggled team of former London Spitfire.
Our safety Aiden.
Well, 99%. And I think O2 High School should be pretty confident. I don't know. ISOHAN does have 4 ultimates coming. Maybe if they can choose between like going in super early, losing a fight without using any ultimates of their own, and just going through maybe go gamble for a last fight, or just gamble to win this fight here. I think they are going to gamble for the win here because they're using both the wall and the blizzard. And Babel here is I want to see that one again. I want to see what shenanigans he's up to.
Let them out.
Huh. Okay, that was easy shooting round stuff.
Yeah.
Stay near the immortality field.
Ooh.
I mean, this is still winnable for ISOHAN. Oh,
Nope.
never mind. Damn.
Man, I wish I could aim with Baptiste. I was never comfortable with the 3-shot burst.
Yeah. Baptiste is like the one support I struggle to aim with as well. Although, actually, I think in Overwatch 2, my Zen aim has gotten worse. My BAP aim has gotten better. I don't know why.
I'm still more comfortable with the Zen, which is now unusable because of the 7-second whatever version.
Yeah. I mean, I mostly play like Ana, Brig, Kiri.
Even
Damn.
despite Pelican's Blizzard,
Pelicans Blizzards just have not been good today in this game. I mean, some of them are not his fault. Like that time that Babel decides to drop the Matrix and just one burst him. That's not really your fault, but some of these Blizzards just have not been getting any freeze value on targets that don't move. You kind of have to get a little bit better than that.
Especially if we already acknowledge that O2 High School is like a very aggressive team, right? With like a lot of forward maneuvers and that. Like I think if you have the right Blizzard angles, if you can just time your Blizzards correctly, then like I think there were a lot of windows for Pelican and ISOHAN to take advantage of that because, again, remember this is a relatively slow comp. Yes, ISOHAN is playing an even slower version of this composition, but I think like as a Mei who can control a lot of space, can take advantage of, I guess, a little bit of an overextension from O2 High School because from what I'm seeing so far, O2 High School's overextensions are not being punished enough. I think that's one of the key reasons that they're so ahead in this match. Ooh.
Yeah. That's just match. That's match right there.
Yep.
You're gonna get these stagger kills. You're gonna get these stagger kills, which is gonna force like 75, 80, and then on the reset, as you're trying to get out of spawn, it's window plus photon barrier. You literally cannot touch the objective.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
They're even taking it forward so that they can't even touch. Charo has to just disregard the fight and touch, and
Yeah.
well, that's game.
Incredible. I mean, that's a 3-0 for...
Yeah, what's the score? That's 3-0 in favor of O2 High School. And wow, what a match. Like, let's talk about this match a little bit because this is the last match we're going to cover, because the next match was Runaway versus O2 High School, which we've already covered in the Runaway stream. So I think LaFawn already pinned it in chat, but if you're interested in taking a look at that match, please go watch the VOD for Team Runaway. But let's talk about O2 High School a little bit. I have a feeling, I don't want to discredit them like at all, but I have a feeling that teams that go against O2 High School are not keeping up with the pace. Like, because if you look at the members of Team ISOHAN right now, I think that they should be able to identify that O2 High School is overextending a little bit. And if they punish, I think there will be a point where a team that's good enough to punish them, they might just have like they might take it a little passively, and that slight difference between being that aggressive and being a little passive is going to show a lot in terms of performances for the side of O2 High School.
Yeah. I mean, counterpoint to that, the difference between aggression and feeding is how badly you get punished. And if you're not going to get punished, then there's no point in being less aggressive, right? And for ISOHAN, I mean, they've made it to, or not ISOHAN, for O2 High School, they've made it to LAN, right, on this style of play. Keep in mind, they're like in the upper bracket finals, which is obviously one of the top 3 teams. They will be guaranteed a performance in LAN with all the representatives of both APAC and Southeast Asia and Korea, obviously. So we'll see. I think there is some element of like some of the teams not being. I think ISOHAN looked a little caught out by some of the fights that O2 High School were willing to take. I mean, like the fact that Babel was able to clutch 3 times in a deficit position, meaning they'd lost a player.
And Blizzard World, they lost 2 players. Yes.
Yeah, they'd lost 2 players. That really should happen to you once in a series max, right? And I think they're like, I want to give a lot of credit to Babel for like identifying those things, but also you're turning your back on half the team of O2 High School and just giving free shots. At some point, you have to like kind of restructure your approach, and it felt like ISOHAN got kind of trapped in their. I don't want to say one-dimensional because that implies that they weren't like trying to move around the map or anything. At times, they often got caught in a pincer maneuver of their own making, meaning they didn't fall into a trap laid by O2 High School.
They just fumbled at their own maneuvers.
They fumbled on their own maneuvers, yeah. And I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a comment there. I feel like they were underestimated, meaning O2 High School. But I think O2 High School also played at a tempo that realistically, we haven't seen from any of the non-dive teams, right? Obviously, dive teams will play at a higher tempo because the necessity of movement kind of forces you to play a little bit faster. But in terms of like how coordinated O2 High School were on the Sigma composition, part of that is the Lucio, part of that is the teleport from the Symmetra. But even still, they were playing a much more up-tempo style that I don't think we've seen a ton of in this region because the teams aren't playing a ton of Sigma, right? We see so much dive and dive mirror that. And for whatever reason, like we don't have the inside information into why teams are choosing to run dive here. But the truth is, like I'm looking at the Sigma composition being played by O2 High School, and it's reminding me of how the European teams were playing Sigma. How like in the World Cup, the more successful Sigma teams were kind of finding value, and O2 High School are playing that same style. Which we have seen has become the most successful composition, most successful playstyle in this current patch. And all of a sudden, I mean, we know how mechanically good Hamster is. They've proven that. You kind of have to wonder, maybe O2 High School is actually slightly favored because in this current patch, they have played the style that is most consistent and most known to be effective.
Yeah. I do have a counter argument for that. Maybe because yes, Sigma was in the end, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia did win the World Cup, but also we did the team from China also proved that the dive executed correctly is still a good threat, and then it all comes down to more execution, right? I don't think
I will also highlight, right, to poke holes in my own argument, because I mean sometimes that's fun to do. We also have seen and heard, right, from kind of players and staff that the Sigma composition does have it does have like elements that can be exploited when you think about things like the Reinhardt, which we saw obviously in the Overwatch League Grand Finals. Ramatra has had some success. We haven't seen a ton of it in stage play, like in terms of competitive play. There's hearsay from like, what does a scrim environment look like? We saw the one game where Hanbin played Ramatra in the knockout stages. So there is, I don't think it's like the be all end all, But I also don't think any team currently in the bracket has looked as cohesive as O2 High School has looked.
That's fair to
Kind of
say.
running the Sigma.
Yep, that is very fair to say. So I think that kind of like makes me makes me more excited for the Hamster O2 high school
Yes.
match because right now, so far, like some of the bigger names that have been playing in the Overwatch League haven't been able to challenge that, I guess, tempo from O2 high school. Will will hamsters that have been so successful, that also have been very dominant on their respective bracket stages as well, be able to finally like pose a challenge and throw questions, force O2 into changing their current playstyle, and how would, and if given that challenge, will O2 High School adapt to that? Are they a one-trick team? Like, not one-trick in terms of just playing heroes, but are they just a one-strat team? We've seen how how a team with only just one plan A can be very, very vulnerable when that plan A is shattered.
But even to that point, right? We've already seen O2 High School run the Junker Queen, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a kind of filter against the Doomfist, and even without that being considered, O2 High School's bench is extremely deep.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
If you need to run other things, you can.
Curie, thanks for the raid. I'm closing out stream though, but thank you for the raid nonetheless. But yeah, LaFon, going to back to your point, but the thing is, I don't know what to expect. I'll be very honest with you. If we go back to the roster real quick, O2 High School has 4 DPS members and 2 tanks, and I'll be very, very honest with you. I don't know what Junbin will bring to the table if he needs to be subbed in. Like, because in the San Francisco Shock, we've been seeing both tanks kind of share roles, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
I mean, historically, Max was like the off tank, right? So like Sigma, Diva, those are the 2 only relevant off tanks. I guess Zarya technically, and then Jinbin had like the Winston Reinhardt Wrecking Ball, of course.
but is Wrecking Ball viable? Even
No,
viable?
Wrecking Ball is not viable.
Yeah.
Not at all. I shouldn't say not at all. I just don't think he has much synchronicity right now with what's currently in play. In the pro.
Well, the
kinda
thing
circuit,
is,
so.
I'm not trying to downplay O2 High School here. I just want to make that clear before I make this point. But yes, they do have a very deep hero, I guess, player pool. But does that provide any value into the current meta right now? Like,
Right.
it looks like this current setup that we're looking at, O2 High School, is the best iteration of O2 High School that can play the meta, the current meta.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
let's just say, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that like to that just makes that O2 High School Hamster game so much more interesting. Especially because both are guaranteed LAN, right? The outcome here is going to be, I think, a taste of what the LAN showcase will be as well, and that's gonna be really. I think that's gonna be really fun.
Yep. Just to give you a quick update on the bracket so far, yeah, O2 High School and Hamster are locked in as top 3. Even though either one of the teams lose, they will still be guaranteed at least 3rd place on the knockouts, and they will be invited a spot towards the LAN that will be later, early. Well, December 8th, 9th, and 10th on LAN. So this is, like LaFon said, this is going to be really, really exciting. And what's also exciting, is that this match in particular, next week's matches are going to be broadcasted, well, in Korean only, unfortunately. But I've heard that our friend Paul Sibyl is going to be available for a co-stream of that day. So I'll be going back on my production chair, which I do best, and then I'll be try to help him as much as I can, try to give him a clean feed so that he can just commentate in English without having to mute the Korean broadcast. But are they going to be able to stand up against a team who can and will counter swap? That's a good question, but also at the same time, does Hamster? Yes, I guess Hamster can counter swap a lot because like you have a lot of options. I guess Hanbin is going to be the go-to for at least the starter for that match, and you have Fearless if you want to go full dive. But I think I think Lafon mentioned this in the earlier streams that Hanbin has not just the off tank pool, but well, not just the Sigma, but also has the Doomfist that can in his pool that can act as the that can transition the entire team into a dive composition. So I think Hanbin should be the more flexible pick here. But again, good question. Because Hamster is willing to swap between. They have shown us that they can swap between the Sigma composition and the dive composition. Is O2 High School also number one capable of doing that, and number two can be able to show the same same high level of play if they play other compositions? All right. That's it for the matches that we have covered. Lafon, do you have any other comments or anything do you want to say before we close out the stream?
Um, no, I got nothing.
Okay. And just to let you guys know, I probably won't be streaming 2 days in a row, so no stream tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, Wednesday, I may I'll check with LaFon and LaFon's schedule to see if we can make things work. And also, I'm trying my best to persuade Spectra to come along as well, which is going to be pretty exciting because he has. I don't know if you've seen his interviews, but his English is impeccable. Like he can take my job away as a translator. I actually mean it. Like so. But he's living in gamer hours right now, so sometimes he's not just even going to be awake. So I'll try to make that work in the back scenes. So, but anyways, thanks for coming and thanks for watching as well. This stream will be on VOD, so in a few hours. So if you missed parts or missed this stream at all, check out my YouTube. But anyways, thanks for this. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your time, and hope you had fun. Goodbye.